name is Margaret Ann Windsor. I have to use the name Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married a Childers until the day, if ever I get my name back. I was kidnapped and brought to Moulton, Alabama, given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey and Carl Preston Dempsey. They were born out of wedlock, and they were killed by Lina Dempsey, their mother. And I'll show you the photos in a minute as I go along. I wrote so I've had to use that name until I found out about my kidnapping in late '83, and the British told me. And if you look back in my history, the people growing up and everything, you'll find that the Germans and the British, my home country, UK, are the ones that saved my life. And the UK is being overrun now, and so is Europe and all this mess. And I want to put this up first, though. I've spent I was told, I put this up on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I've told it, and since they've made my word no good, I will quote retired Virginia State Trooper Carl Barton, his wife, when they took me down to Affordable Corporate Suites, August the 14th of 2009. And I will show a picture of the murders. I'm going to get to that in a minute. That happened then. It's sad. Nobody's been held accountable. But this is retired state trooper. He's retired now. Childs. Childs. Now, you've just in this thing, the Caldwell Field, the Childs is like Childs, part of the name Childers. And the Laura, and I'm not going to try to tell you where that comes from, but this whole lot of, the mind control was done in patterns. And if I sound a little, I am not feeling good at all. I'm going to say this, Virginia State Trooper said this is how we move you with chemicals. And I have an immune disorder when I'm around toxic fumes, and it's in enclosed space like this, and this is where they'll come in, and unless the law works for you, or you can get an attorney, they can actually come and handcuff you. The people that are doing all this mess are so high up. I've been threatened, and right now I had to move. I'm living at their place here. Now I'm going to get it confused to you, I suppose, if anybody cares to listen. I'm here, Howard Johnson. I've been off and on. I'm here now. Been here since October the 5th. I had to move. It wasn't easy because the rooms aren't that great, but everywhere I've gone, they've moved me with either doing something to the air conditioning and putting out freezing till I can't stand it, or coming in and actually spraying it with insecticide in your bed and all this. So I had to move the other day to this one, and I'm paid till Monday, and they mean to get me out. I'm just about dead. I'm just about paralyzed, and my legs are just like stinging and like I've got knots in them, and I was almost paralyzed the night about 1 o'clock from the next day when I moved down here. So they're determined to make me move again. Where am I supposed to go? I pay rent, and I doubt that I can stay till Monday. I'll be dead. So where do I go? I'm 76 years old, and I'm almost afraid to put this up because they can do what they want to. Now, before I go to this other, I'm going to mention this. And I thought there were some other things that went along with this, but I'm not going to get into it. I can't find it to prove it. This is the owners of where I am at, Howard Johnson's. Let me say they own everything, just about everything, in Roanoke, Troutville, and surrounding areas that they've gone into. So the man up here that I've spoken with about this, they very well know it's orchestrated before I would get here. They can stand there and tell you, well, that's crazy, you can't prove it. It's fumes, and unless I had photos of them actually doing it when I'm kept penniless and I don't have a car, can't drive, that's impossible. Anyway, I want to tell you the ones that are here. I want to say this. This was an opening for Sonny Shaw and the Patel. They're a corporation. And they bought a property that is unreal. They've gotten wealthy on that. But here are some of the people, and I just wanted, this was an opening back in earlier this year, I believe, 8/15, 14, no, that was last year. Anyway, it's an article, and it mentions, and the reason I'm putting this here is the guest included Senator Virginia, John Edwards, he's state senator, a representative from Senator Tim Kaine, who's ex-governor's office in the U.S. Senate, Mark Warner's office, Delegate Sam, I don't know him, Congress Bob Goodlatte's office, and it's Goodlatte that is over the intelligence, or was, and I would have to go back and look up the committees that he chairs and all this. But these men have become quite powerful, and I at least thought Tim Kaine, Mark Warner, they're former Virginia governors, and now they've moved on up to the Senate. I thought they were honest, and that's all I'm going to say. But I have been threatened, and it's ongoing, and after another night, like the last 3 nights here, I won't be alive. My lungs are scorched. I had the door open, and this complex, and supposedly I've been told there's drugs out here. Now that I don't know. I do know I opened the door one night, and there were 2 cops crawling underneath the cars and going across from me in the rooms over there, door to door. So I don't know. I know what they're doing to me. And I'm just about dead. And it's illegal. They should be locked up. You better check out who's running your country. By the way, I'm going to get this in. I'm just about dead anyway. Hillary Clinton, the governor here now is Terry McAuliffe. Was part of the Clinton administration staff. And Hillary Clinton is part of the New World Order, just like Elizabeth is. So, New World Order is your Illuminati, your global government that's in power now. Before I go on to what, I wrote a book in Atlanta, 76 till April Fool's Day of 80, when they almost killed me, about Congressman Larry McDonald. He was a urologist. But really, I wrote about mind control in it. And during the time I was doing that, Larry Flint of Hustler Magazine was shot in Lawrenceville. Later, when Larry McDonald's plane was shot down by the Russians, veered into the airspace, the passenger plane, KAL, August the 31st of 83, and in Juneau, before it crashed, they took former President Nixon off. They had to know that it was going down. Anyway, I was in that campaign, and I've lived a hell of a life. But I'm fast-forwarding from 1980, when I did the book, got a letter from the FBI, June the 23rd of 83, was almost killed. National security involved, ongoing investigations, what they said, U.S. Attorney William Harper. So here is an endorsement, April of 84 by Mr. Flint, and he says I know who's responsible for his shooting, and he mentions Larry McDonald. So I was out there, and he helped me in that campaign, and I wanted to go back to this, the mind control murders, and that was a program shooting Larry Flint. They programmed the shooter. So they can program mass armies, one person to use a knife to shoot somebody, just like in the London, just recently, the knife. With all that's going on, the program shootings, and that's exactly what they are. The Aurora, Colorado, Tucson, Arizona, that's the one I'm going to get to, and then I'm going to try to go to something else, and that's about all I can do. I either leave here and I'm probably dead, or stay till Monday, and I can't. My lungs are scorched and everything. I can't even walk now. Some of the patterns involved, and these are ones that you can prove, because mind control is invisible. You can't prove it. So that's one thing that people, they know it's happening, but it scares them, because they don't have a gun to shoot, or they don't have something to stop it. This is a picture of me and my sons, because I don't